Hello everybody, and welcome back to another video of Final Fantasy XIV, and this one will be my thoughts and opinions on Live Letter 57. So without any more hoopla, let's get into it. So the live letter kind of starts with Yoshida making an announcement about adjustments. Since they always put numbers out every time they do an adjustment of the jobs, the problem with that is people start theory crafting and fretting unnecessarily, honestly, for loss of potency on this move or increase of potency on the other one. It seems like most people are always chasing the meta instead of playing what they want. And basically Yoshida said that they will no longer be releasing the exact numbers, the exact adjustments to certain moves until patch day. Because what they want is for you to try out the job that you were playing until the patch is released and make an assessment based solely on empirical evidence. What I'm trying to say here is you have a ninja and the potency was adjusted to a certain move, so you're gonna go try it and see if you like it. Because if you have to change a job, it shouldn't be because you're going to the next meta or whatever. You should change a job because it no longer adapts to your playing style. And that's basically the reason behind, or what I think is the reason behind why they will no longer release the exact numbers until patch notes on launch day. And now SE always had a stance regarding third-party tools that was more of a neutral stance. Basically what they said is, if it's not breaking the game, we're not gonna go after you. But that was always something that was stated in forums, and for the first time on Live Letter 57, Yoshida talked about it. So he starts off by talking about a certain video that has been circulating on Twitter about the third-party tool that actually allows you to see where the AoEs are going to hit before they happen. Now this is something that is different from a parser. As far as the parsers, they can't really go search people's computers to see if you're using a parser or not. But as long as you don't use the numbers to harass other people, you should be okay. Now this tool that I'm about to talk about, the one that shows the AoEs before they show up. Now this is a game-breaking tool, and it should not be used. First of all, it basically robs you, the player, of any sense of achievement because everything is going to be laid out for you before it happens. So you're skipping the whole process of being faced with the mechanic, possibly dying, understanding why you died, and practice it until you get it perfect. So in this case, this tool is breaking the game, and if they see you use this, you will face consequences. But third-party tools are somewhat of a gray zone, because if you notice, Discord, for instance, is a third-party tool. It's one that most people use to communicate. I mean, raids, we're talking about statics or party finders, anything that requires communication. Discord is one of those tools to use. But it falls in the category that it's okay because it's not changing the game, it is not changing game files, and it's not changing the way you face that battle. If anything, it helps you to get there quicker, but through, let's say, honest means. And this mod with the AoEs does not do that. It essentially changes the entire fight for you. You no longer are required to have any sort of reaction time or any sort of learning, because you have a tool that will tell you where to go, where to be, and where not to be prior to the mechanic happening. So despite their adopting a neutral stance regarding certain tools, their rule of thumb will be if this third-party tool allows you to harass other players or in any way breaks the game, it will not be allowed. Now the curious thing about what was said, it was the first time, at least in my view, or that I know of, that Yoshida actually spoken about the third-party tools. So in a sense, the policy hasn't changed, but they will be paying close attention to people that use third-party tools that help them execute their rotations, to dodge mechanics, or understanding mechanics beforehand without experiencing them in real time. Now, on a personal level, I agree with this 100%. Because one of the big lures of this game is not really getting the titles or the clears or the kills. I mean, that is not your end game. That is a result of what you're doing in here. I think the main attraction of this game is the fact that you are faced with obstacles that at first appear unsurmountable. I mean, which one of us has never went into a savage fight or a raid or 24 man and you saw the mechanics for the first time and you think, this is just too much, I don't understand, how am I gonna get through this? And that's the main appeal of the game. It has always been the main appeal of this franchise. The fact that they put incredibly strong bosses in front of you and they expect you by yourself, or in the case of the single player games, or in the case of the MMOs, Final Fantasy XI or Final Fantasy XIV, with a team of friends and comrades, figure out how you gonna surpass this boss using legitimate methods and tools that the devs supply you. So as far as patch 5.2, so you'll have the regular stuff that is coming out with the new tier of Eden, Normal, and Savage are going to come out at the same time. So we're going to have plenty to do that. They also showed the new rework of Ramuh. It looks amazing. But I think the main takeaway of this subject, at least for me, would be the fact that they're implementing new types of mechanics. And they couldn't do this on the first tier because when 5.0 came out, there was a lot of rework with the classes, adjustments in potency and in movement. And they had to take that into account when they were releasing the first tier of Eden. So right now, they don't have to worry about that. Right now, the developer team, at least for the fights, can focus completely on the new mechanics of said fights, which means we'll have, at least according to them, a whole brand new set of mechanics, not only different from what you've seen so far, but the mechanics themselves will have layers that you'll have to peel off. I imagine a small example, for instance, would be the stack mechanic that the previous reiterations would have. The guy in the middle, you couldn't look at it, you would stack with him, but you have to look outwards so he wouldn't freeze you. I'm thinking something like that, but with the brand new mechanic with some minor nuances on it. So you have to do it as a team, but in a very specific way to pass that mechanic. And this actually makes me quite happy because they're trying to shake things up. Because people have been saying that despite having a good content cycle, it has become stale. Expected. You know what's coming out and what it's gonna be, and most likely you will have the same mechanics you've seen in the past but reorganized in a different way. And they have been doing that, but they have listened to the feedback from the player base, and this time they will be introducing, at least according to them, brand new mechanics. So another change that they did with the restoration of Ishgard, regarding the problems we had at first with people coming from another worlds to go do the Ishgard quest to advance the restoration, They have said, and they didn't went into specifics, but they said that they fixed that. So I'm counting on, if you're not from your specific a specific server, like I'm gonna give you an example, if you're not from Balmung, you probably will not be allowed to enter the firmament to do the Balmung quest. Now, if you guys remember in 5.1, when the restoration of Ishgard came out, at least for my server, what happened when we filled the gauge and it was time to do the quests, everybody from other worlds came in, and Balmung natives got locked out of the instance. And this made us very sad. And there was a clamor about Yoshi P fix it, and luckily he heard us, and this will be fixed. Now, how it will be fixed exactly, we do not have those details, but I'm pretty sure they will come on patch day, or in the form of patch notes that will be released very, very close to patch day. And for the final point of this video, I would like to talk about ocean fishing. Now, we have the details of ocean fishing on the Live Letter translations, and I did put a video on the channel, Live Letter 57 Part 2 overview, which I talk in depth about the ocean fishing. But I just want to say that this is another one of those great pieces of content that come in for the gatherers. It's not really something that you do if you have a combat class, but if you do have a fisherman and you're planning on leveling it up, whether to level meets or class jobs, or the usual way, just straight out going into fishing holes and leveling up the hard way, which is grinding. This adds a whole new dimension to the fishing. You can basically access this content, a level 1 fisherman. It works as a raid instance, a 24-man raid instance, where 24 people will queue for it. You can queue as a solo player or with 7 other players. Heck, you can even do it as like a competition between FCs to see who has the better fisherman. And it comes back to the point that they finally broadened the specter on gathering. It's not just the fact that you're using gathering as means to an end. It literally, with starting at patch 5.2, it literally puts gatherers as a viable way of playing this game. I have seen several players that do nothing but crafting in this game, and they're very successful. Some of them don't even know what to do with their guild. But up until very recently, up until this live letter, up until patch 5.2, I have never seen anybody, and maybe I'm wrong, so if I am, put down on the comments down below, and you can call me a dumbass or whatever. I have never seen people just playing this game for gathering content in this live letter. But now you can do that. And you can even add that to your experience. If you're a big raider, gathering will help you fulfill your objectives, and you actually will have fun at it. And that's basically my main takeaway with this live letter. And with that, I am gonna leave it over here. Please do tell me what you think down on the comments. What was your favorite piece of content? What are you most excited for? And your general thoughts about it. And as for my part, thank you all so very much for watching or listening. If you do like videos like this or Final Fantasy XIV, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you know when we're broadcasting or posting new videos. And until the next one, peace out.